But I think we established very clearly why we need to look at these concepts. I think, Ron, between you, Paul, and Erin, we also understood what is needed. But I think our audience really wants to know, so how are we going to solve this problem? I'm sure all our panelists here have a view of how we should go about solving. So maybe, Paul, I'll move towards you. Is from either a process perspective or leveraging a digital operations platform, no matter which vendor we talk about, can you paint a picture of how you think, or what do you think good looks like if we were to solve this problem?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it is always based on a process, an intended process. I mean, there's oftentimes the unintended results, but in our case, where we're really focusing is to automate that issue or alert or incident response. And so I'm actually, my diagram here actually starts with someone already identifying for us, whether it's something, a signal that came from Dynatrace or a security event, cybersecurity, digital security, or some other sort of problem. But the idea is that as soon as that's identified, we can potentially begin to take action. And that's where we're suggesting automated remediation can step in. Most teams, most operations teams, SRE teams, they actually have a great library of runbooks. We're not saying that you replace those. Like, let's just leverage them. Let's just put them in the context. When your particular service has an issue, let's leverage those runbooks to try and resolve the issue and the problem. And then if that doesn't actually fix the issue, which it may not, we may still need to drive an incident and manage that. And we can manage it in one place or multiple places, whatever the need may be. It begins to focus, that single version of the truth in some place, as at the same time, we also begin engaging people. And that would be that technical resolver team. And the technical resolvers, sometimes it's that one person, sometimes it's, 3 people or 10 people, but however we need to engage them, we can. And then at that level, we can still make those runbooks accessible to people, because now on a decision basis, they may want to make those updates and changes or restarts, rolling restarts, rollbacks, whatever it might be, roll forwards for some situations. So it allows them to continue to execute their best practice process internally, which usually at some point engages or notifies at least the stakeholders. So the business users, which can be those internal users. Sometimes you might want external users to be aware that you're working to solve an issue at the same time. And for some events, such as security issues, if there's a data breach, it's not just going to be in IT. We need compliance, we need legal, we may need marketing. And so we're suggesting that there's additional engagement, and turns out we also have a suite of tools that can help us do that, that are connected, integrated together to help drive these parallel activities. But that is just a sample process. Here's actually what it looks like, in our product. So literally on the left-hand side, a signal comes in. The first group of steps that are executed represent that automated remediation and automated documentation. So we're creating the audit trail and trying to fix the problem. In the middle section, the top line, if it works, all good. Let's make note of that, update to Slack, Teams. This one's writing to Jira in this case. But if not, then it takes the lower path, where we actually go perform automated triage, where we gather the current state and configuration of the service and the environment that has the problem. And then finally on the right-hand side is where we notify someone. And of course, when we engage that person, we're going to allow them to, respond in different ways. It's not just accept, decline, because we're not finished, right? They're going to drive another series of steps in the process here, which oftentimes is creating that incident. And that context becomes really important, especially when you have identified your services. So this actually another view within XMatters allows us to see that within XMatters, you can actually see the highlighted service that has a problem. So this is based on the signals that are coming to XMatters, and we can see actually there's multiple services impacted. But additionally to that, we can also identify which services has changed recently. So just visually, you can see it's like, this has actually been changed, and you can say it's in the last day or last 3 days, however you want to scope that. But it allows you to make sure that you're seeing that more full context. And then with a simple click of a button, you could be automating more of those runbooks and executing them in real time right from an interface like this. So to further take that another level, if you want to see all the changes that were applied in this context, you've got quick access again. And then, as you need to engage more people or notify those stakeholders, again, it's just a simple click. So there's great information in a view like this that can be automatically brought together for you. But as you can see, there's still critical decision making that someone needs to make in order to ensure that we get to the right result, and audit trail created all along. So if you happen to be in one of those industries that is regulated, or you have to, prove from SOX compliance that you did the right thing, you've got that great audit trail from the original signals that were triggered and captured and correlated to how you took action and who you engaged and how you reached resolution. It becomes really powerful for sure.
Really excellent. Very good here. Now, I think Ron is happy. Maybe you only talked about overt changes, but he's looking for your next generation, Paul, where you can cover not just overt and discrete changes, but shadow changes that you're not probably,
Indeed.
Probably are not aware of, certainly. So, Erin, I'll move this mic to you, so to speak. Do you view the world, the how we should solve it this way as well? And probably at some point, the audience would also like to understand, we're talking about different products here, two different companies here. So what we don't want to leave the audience hanging is where do I go left? Do I turn right? Is there synergy here? So, Erin, how does this all come together for us?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me rest assure Ron, I'm going to bump up his feature request with our Davis AI product team over here. So hopefully we'll soon be able to solve for those unknown unknowns. But I loved and want to piggyback on what Paul was sharing in terms of getting into this world of automating tool chains and bringing these different tool sets together based on what different teams and processes are using. So it's a lot to have to bring together from how things take place from a remediation toolchain standpoint, but also from making sense of all of these signals coming in. So I think this is really the peanut butter and jelly of why Dynatrace partners with XMatters and Everbridge company. So what we're known for and have been a leader in the industry for over a dozen years is being able to bring in all of these different signals. So different metrics, traces, logs, all these different clues about what's going on. Why is this happening? What change may have happened recently? Did someone push new code and magically something broke right thereafter? We want to take all of these different data points and put them into a singular contextual view. So that's where Dynatrace with our AI is able to make sense of all of these different signals and not just send you a bunch of red dashboards. We want to be able to say, hey, this service broke because somebody pushed bad code a couple minutes before. It's impacting X amount of users. And then you're seeing on the right-hand side where valuable integrations with tools like XMatters is critical in mobilizing and informing the right teams so that they can take action and be aware. Obviously, the ideal end state that Paul mentioned of this self-healing, isn't it great if you get that XMatters notification and you realize that not only did you have a problem, but guess what? It healed itself before you even had to do anything or before your customers were even impacted. That's kind of the best case scenario. But being able to leverage this data in an intelligent and automated way is really what unlocks the power to drive innovation and help these organizations mature. I think that, as much as maybe some of us are fearful of, AI or these robots taking our jobs, I would be hard pressed to think that anybody is going to be heartbroken not waking up at 4 a.m. to look at dashboards and have an AI engine do that on their behalf. So instead, we're empowering people to move forward and drive that innovation within their organizations.